It's a very different competition in many ways, just in terms of even how it's run and how it's managed. It's 7 weeks in a row with the final at the end of it, whereas the B&I Cup, I suppose, was quite a truncated competition in that it mirrored the Champions Cup weekend. So just the way it's run is quite different. It's great for the young players just to get an opportunity to consistently play. I suppose go through that process of review, of preview, of an opportunity to build week on week. I think the B&I competition was a great competition as well in many ways, but there tended to be big gaps between games, so the opportunity to put something right from the previous week or to build on something from the previous week probably wasn't there. So that's certainly something that we would see consistently this year with it anyway. Yeah, the most important thing for us as coaches and for the team has been that the players have improved. I think consistently they've improved throughout the course of the competition. So there has been pleasing performances. There has been things that we probably are a little bit frustrated about at times as well. But there's been lots of positives for us. Probably the biggest thing has been the number of players that have been involved over the course of the tournament. We're up to 48 now at this stage. Players who've all come through the Leinster pathway.
Many of them have stepped up as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah, there's a great story last weekend from the RDS where Michael Milne and Harry Byrne made their home debuts. Rowan Osborne made his full debut. And those guys had already been involved through the Celtic Cup, and it was a great springboard for them. And that's what the competition is about, really. It's about giving an opportunity to some of the senior guys in the academy to get some game time, see if they can step up to that level and stand out. And if they do, then give confidence in the senior coaches to put them in. It's a great story, I think, to be honest about it, and I think it should be a great source of inspiration for players that haven't come through the traditional pathway, that haven't come through the academy system. Obviously, Rowan was involved. He played Leinster schools, he played Irish schools, he was involved in the Leinster under-20s as well. So and then obviously went through a different pathway. So I think it should be a great source of inspiration. It was a great opportunity, I suppose, around the World Cup, and a couple of guys have come in. Rowan has been someone who's done really, really well, and I think he'll continue to do so, to be honest with you. There obviously are some interprovincial A games later on in the year, so they're timetabled. The AIL will become really important to a lot of these players, particularly a lot of the younger players over the course of the next few months as well. And then obviously you've got the age grade international season coming up as well. So we have a number of under-20s, a number of under-19s even. Alex Soraka, Josh O'Connor, Tim Corkery, all under-19 who have played over the last few weeks. So it's great exposure for them, and in many ways the right thing to do now is for those guys to maybe be taken out of this a little bit and an opportunity to reflect on what they've learned, an opportunity to grow away from here, and then hopefully the next time they get an opportunity to step up, they'll be in a better position to do so. I think our pathway is important, full stop. I think for Leo this is an important competition, but I think all the way down, I think our under-20s is really important. And you look at Adrian Flavin and Jeremy Staunton did a really good job with our under-20s this year, down into the 19s with Andy Wood and Simon Broughton, and then down to the schools and the clubs as well. So I don't think you can identify any one part of it as being more important than the other. It's all really, really important. For us, this is kind of the top of the pathway where it meets the bottom end of the professional game, and it's kind of that gateway opportunity, if you like, for want of a better phrase. So we would certainly place an awful lot of importance on it, and a lot of pride as well, I suppose, in seeing not only people selected to play for Leinster, but to perform for Leinster. And I think that's what a lot of these guys have done. They've got an opportunity to play, but equally they've performed. I think that's probably one of the things that we would say is most pleasing. I think it's important that the Celtic Cup and A Rugby is not a distillation of the senior game. It is different. It is a development competition, and a lot of the principles in terms of how we would review, how we would prepare, would reflect that. There is an onus on the players to drive it a little bit as well, and trying to, I suppose, challenge them to find a voice, trying to challenge them to have a point of view. I suppose we're not only looking at what the Leinster player of now is going to look like, but what the Leinster player of the future as well. And for some of these guys, 18 years of age, you'll be hoping in 3-4 years' time the game is going to be slightly different again than it is currently now. So I suppose we're trying to look to prepare them for that eventuality as well.
But do they play the same system calls, like the same language, the same
Yeah, lots of similarities. I think the lexicon is important, and we would look to mirror some of that, definitely. Common language, and then that allows the players to come up with their training with the seniors, which has been common, that they can fit into that. But equally, there's no diktat that this is the way it has to be done. It's very much a case of, as I said, these are developing players. The reality is for Leo on the weekend, it is comes down to the bottom line. And I would say exactly the same thing. If we haven't developed the players and we want to win the Celtic Cup, well then it's not success. The reality is the majority of the coaching is done by Trevor Hogan and Simon Broughton, Seamus Toomey. So really for me it's just about pulling it together. But yeah, I think there has to be a certain level of autonomy. There has to be a certain level of working towards the profile of the players, while still recognising there are certain characteristics and certain things that are consistent throughout Leinster, and I think that's something that has definitely been evident in terms of how the boys have played and the pace that they've played with, but also the adaptability. They've played on different surfaces, different venues, against different opposition, with different referees and different interpretations, and I think by and large they've adapted really well to that, and that's something that we would place a lot of value in, is the adaptive capacity of the players, their ability to I suppose just to adapt to those unfolding circumstances.